Hey guys, when you're making sales, it's important to use your face and your own body language and look at what the customer's body language and face is doing. This will give you a good read on if you're making the sale or if you're just boring them to death. So one of the important ways of getting the customer on your side is to smile and head nod. Yeah, we're taking care of a couple of neighbors. You've seen us out here, right? Smiling, head nodding, you should almost be like a bobblehead all summer. Every time you head nod. Because people reciprocate what they see. If they see you kind of grumpy or you're yawning or whatever, they're gonna, this is wasting my time. But if you're smiling, they typically will smile back. If you head nod, they're typically gonna nod with you. Even if they're saying no, subconsciously they're saying yes because they're head nodding. If you're like, yeah, so do you want the service? They're gonna go, no, I don't want the service. Another thing is to wink at certain times when it's appropriate. If you give a wink or even a high five, I do a lot of high fives. I like high fiving my customers. If you wink or high five, especially old ladies love the little winks, that gets them kind of on your team as well. Another thing is the eye flash when you get your eyes bigger. So when you're talking about cockroaches, you haven't seen them inside, have you? So you get your eyes bigger, and that kind of gives like a big emphasis, like, oh man, that's crazy. Also, yawning. You don't want to yawn. If you yawn at the doors, you are boring people. If you haven't got enough sleep last night or whatever it is, if you feel a yawn coming on, close your mouth and bite hard on your tongue. It's not going to hurt that bad, but that takes the yawn away. At least it does for me. Also, an important thing is active listening. If they're talking, don't overtalk them or try and interrupt them or get your point in. Be active listener. Smile and head nod with them. Yeah, I get that. I even say that. That's like my go-to phrase. I get that. So anyway, this is what we're doing. So I register that what they said. Yeah, I get that. I'm with you. I understand. But this is why people are going with us. But da-da-da-da. With the customer, you want to look for their body language. So if they're standing there and they've got their arms folded, this is a closed off position. This is, I don't really want what you're selling. Yeah, I'm going to stand here and just let you talk, but I'm not buying. You got to get them to unfold their arms. Give them something. Give them your marketing slick. Here you go, check this out, and hand it to them. You can't, it's weird to stand there and look at it with one arm folded. They're going to take their arm down. This is more of an open, mentally and subliminally, this is an open, okay, now I'm listening. You also don't want to catch them staring off into space, especially when you're doing the presentation, because if they stare off into space or they stare at you with kind of a glazed over look, you lost them. They're on a mind trip. They're bored to death. Make sure that they're not staring off into space. If they are, do something. We had a manager one year. He had stuff in his binder. He'd keep his keys in there, and he'd shake the binder all around. Yeah, people have bugs up in their eaves and down in the... he'd shake his binder around just to get them not to glaze over. It's important that they're paying attention to you. The worst one is when they keep their hand on the door handle. They come out, they kind of close the door halfway or whatever, and they've got their hand on the door handle because they know they're going right back in. You got to get them to let go of it. Again, hand them your marketing slick. Hey, check out what we're doing. Or even flip it over, show them the bugs. Hey, so which ones have you been seeing the most? And they'll have to take that hand off the handle and actually look at it. You want to get them to let go of that because mentally, if they're holding on to it, they're going right back inside. Also, if they're slowly backing into the house, no, thank you, and slowly backing in, or if they're inside, they never came out, and they're slowly closing the door on you, no thanks, we're not interested, and then they close the door. You got to get something where you're going to catch their interest really quick. So you can throw out just your lowest price on the initial, just hopefully it sparks some interest. That's like all you can do at that point. So they're closing the door. We're taking care of a couple of neighbors. It's just $39. Every once in a while it'll work and they'll open back up. You're doing it for $39? Oh. What are you doing? So throw something out like that. Now there's a couple of things you want to get the customer doing. These are buying signs. It also has to do with their body language. You want to get them craning their neck at something. So again, when you're showing price, you want to get next to them and show them the price and have them look over your shoulder and crane their neck so that they're looking over at your price. That's a buying sign. That's an important one. If they're paying attention and looking at something, then that's great. You also want them to follow you around. That's another really good example of getting someone to buy in. I got a sale one time because this lady had one spider web coming down off of her tree. Actually, it was off the roof of the house down to the ground, and I could see it in the light. That's the only thing I knew about her bugs. Her eaves were clean, everything was clean, but I said, you got to come see this. I haven't seen one of these ever. And I started walking, and she, sure enough, she followed me right over. Okay, let's go. We went around to the tree, and she saw that big spider web, and I got the sale. I said, you know, the bugs, they come, especially spiders, they come off the trees, they float down, whatever they land on. In this case, obviously it's your grass. Spiders come out of the trees, and then they want to go to the homes. Another guy that I knocked with, he'd just say, hey, I have something to show you, even without his door approach. Hey, I have something to show you. Come check this out. And he'd walk all the way back to the point of the sidewalk where he saw bugs. He'd even take them to a neighbor's house if they had a whole bunch of bugs on the porch, and then he'd show them, look, this is what the neighbors are all dealing with. This is what we're trying to get rid of. We need you to jump on board, so I'm going to give you a big discount. See, smile, head nod, big discount. You also want to get them pointing at your bug sheet. Which one have you seen? Show them the sheet, get them to point at it. Another important thing with the whole body language is you want to match their body language. So if you've got a nice businessman that's opening the door in his suit, you want to be standing up straight and tall, you want to look good eye contact, you want to smile a lot, obviously, but you want to be the way that you present yourself is very professional, because he is a professional person. If it's a little old lady, then you want to lower your voice a little bit. You want to talk to her like she's your sweet grandmother. You want to be gentle, use words like, yes, ma'am. You want to match her. If it's Mr. Thug Life coming to the door, hey, what's up, dude? Then you're going to be more, you know, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Dude, we've been on your street all day. I'm out here sweating. Have you seen what we're doing? We're taking care of your neighbors, Susie, Sam. Anyway, dude, I'm going to get rid of your bugs. I'll give you half off. You're matching him because that's his style. So pay attention to their body language. Watch where they're looking. Get them to actively engage with you and match their style. And that will help your sales tremendously.